I got over 34 million streams on Spotify this year, and here's why I'm depressed about it. But no, seriously though, it's that time of the year, it's Spotify Wrapped. This year I got 34 million streams, but last year I got 44 million streams. That's not all. The year before that, I got 65 million streams. So it's just been a steady decline ever since my peak back in 2021. I did a full breakdown of my Spotify Wrapped this year. If you want to see the nitty gritty of all the streams I got and all the metrics and stuff like that, feel free to check it out on my second channel, L.Dre TV. But in this video, I want to be really transparent and talk about my decline in streams. I'm going to go over some things I feel like I've been doing right, some things I've been doing wrong, and some external factors that I feel like are just completely out of my control. Some of which I feel like people do not talk about enough, especially in the lo-fi space. And hopefully you learn something along the way. Also, a big shout out to our channel sponsor DistroKid, but more on that later. Without further ado, let's keep it light and start off with some things I feel like I've been doing right. Let me set the stage for you. 2020, I released Steven Universe. It went viral on TikTok, but the sound didn't really start taking off until the end of the year. So 2021, the year that I got 65 million streams, was like the peak of it, you know what I'm saying? And around that time, I was just putting out content and putting out music very, very consistently. So to organize this video better, I'm gonna list off the things that I feel like I've been doing right, with number one just being consistency. I mean, consistency is key, no matter how cliche that is. I was just putting out like viral lo-fi remix after viral lo-fi remix. I'm talking Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Dear Katara. I found something that was working and I pretty much just went all at it. I did something similar before that. Before I found the lo-fi remixes, I was doing like the dance remixes, like my Frank Ocean remix Shibuya, or the Doja Cat like Cash Cat remix. And those were actually my first things to go viral back in like 2019. 2019, 2020 is when I was doing like all the dance stuff. There was a bunch of viral dances to it and stuff like that. But when that started to die off, I pivoted into the lo-fi cartoon flips, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I just never gave up and I just kept at it. And although I'm not nearly as consistent, I'm still here and I'm still haven't given up. So, I mean, yeah, I said I was a little depressed about 34 million, but it's still incredible, don't get me wrong. But piggybacking off of what I just mentioned, I'd say the second thing I did right was just adapting to trends. Like I said, I did the dance remixes, that started falling off, so I did the lo-fi remixes. And then when the lo-fi remixes started falling off a bit, I started doing like different type of lo-fi remixes. Like another one that went viral was my Billie Eilish one. It was called Everything I Wanted. And then I also pivoted into some more original stuff. And then I started getting picked up in more playlists. Like my track Calm Down did really well. I dropped this really chill lo-fi album called Where's the Rain, and it got playlisted on Apple Music and it's been doing numbers ever since. I think it has like 4 million streams over there, which is for Apple Music. That's huge. So no matter what, I was always trying to adapt to the trends that I could actually go with. Like I skipped the drill scene, I skipped the Jersey scene, like I didn't do any of that stuff, and maybe that's where my fall off began. But whether it be a new platform or a new strategy, I'm always trying to adapt, and that's super important. The third thing I feel like I've been doing right is just keeping up the music quality. I've been trying to expand as much as I could, no matter what. Before all of this virality, I was just a dude making beats and just trying to get better, just like you, like making trash beats here and there, making every now and then there's a beat that I really love. And eventually I just kind of found my sound and I stuck with it and I kept improving on it. So like this year I've been working with like actual musicians. I dropped that album with Deutsche Grammophon where I got to work with the whole orchestra. I did a music video, photo shoots, all that kind of stuff. Even Snowfly Volume 2 that just came out. I got my guy Seb Zillner playing sax all over that. I hired some jazz pianists to kind of flip some of the Christmas songs, and I even hired a voiceover actor for the intro. So throughout all the ups and downs, I tried to make sure at the very least the quality of my music was still good. Now, all that being said, there definitely was a lot of challenges I faced to where that gradual decline might come into play more. But besides all of that, a quick word about the channel sponsor DistroKid. If by now you don't know what DistroKid is, you've got to be sleeping under a rock. It's pretty much the best way to get your music out on all streaming platforms super quickly. All the music I released that got me all these streams has been released through DistroKid, and I haven't had any issues over the years. They've been great. And for just $22.99 a year, you can upload unlimited music with them. And if you use my affiliate link in the description, you'll get 7% off your first year. So if you've been waiting to release, now's your time. Click that link. It helps support the channel massively, and it's genuinely just a great platform. Now back to the video. All right, so on to the things I feel like I may have done wrong. Now again, there are a lot of external forces at play, but I'm saving that for later. But at the end of the day, and I want you to really take this home, but as an artist, as a musician, especially when you're doing the independent stuff or like quitting your job and doing this for a living, we really need to take accountability. Like, I know there's algorithms, there's playlist editors, there's this, there's that. But at the end of the day, like, if you just really take a moment, take a step back and think about it, like, you can start to figure out some things that you might be doing wrong. So this is where the real transparency comes in, because I really had to look inward for this. So you might as well hit that subscribe button now, because I'm about to open up to you and we're about to get a lot more connected. But anyway, the first thing I did wrong was all the things I did right. Let me explain. Pretty much all those years of grinding weighed a brother down, dude. I'm telling you, all those years grinding in the garage, I'm working every single night just to go work at my 9 to 5 in the morning. I finally find some success. I hit some milestones. I buy a Tesla. I move out. I help my mom quit her job. And now I got my own space. I'm feeling good, bro. You think I'm gonna wanna grind that hard still? No, definitely not. So basically, I got comfortable. I got super comfortable. The laziness started kicking in. I started making money, and like the money was flowing in, dude. The consistency dropped a lot. Not so much the music, but like the content, because at the end of the day, like, unfortunately these days you just have to put out a lot of content to remain relevant. Outside of that, like releasing music and the fact that I had all this prior success with my catalog and everything, I still got 45 million streams last year, even though I really didn't have any type of viral hit. Even this year, I still got 35 million streams. You know, I released that album with Dolce Gramophone, which was great. It did pretty well. I had the Boondocks Lo-Fi that kind of popped off a bit. That did great. But really, it's just my catalog, just like my main top 10 songs that have really been keeping me going. So that's one thing to just keep in mind. Try not to get too comfortable. Recently, I really had to slap myself in the face and go like, yo, bro, why are you chilling? Like, you got a little bit of money, moved out, bought a car, and like, you're chilling, bro? Like, no, dude, you got a lot. You're 25. You got a long way to go. So yeah, that's number one. Try not to get too comfortable. Number two, I definitely lacked on the audience engagement. I personally felt like the lack of consistency, the lack of me posting, and the fact that I did take a break from posting TikTok, for example. When I took a break from TikTok, I came back to crickets, bro. I'm telling you. Crickets. On one hand, I would post something and it'll barely get any views, so I would just get discouraged, close the app, and go on about my day. And then since I was already feeling discouraged, I'd be like, oh, what's the point of even posting another video this week? I'll just post something next week when inspiration strikes. And so over that time, I feel like I kind of lost the connection with like my core fan base. And overall, I just didn't really feel like replying to all the comments like I used to. And also maybe I even stopped listening to the fans, because like back in the day, I would get comments of people requesting me to remix a certain cartoon theme song or something like that, and I would do it. And that is why I feel like I had so much success back then. But then I got into the point where like, oh, do I just want to be the remix guy all the time? What about my original music? Like really just kind of like bitching, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's something I've been battling with, like not wanting to be the remix guy, even though I love doing that kind of stuff. I feel like anybody who pops off of remixes has that feeling where they don't want to be boxed into this specific type of thing. But at the end of the day, I got my success from doing this specific thing. People followed me for this specific thing, so I need to get back to doing what the people love. Obviously, you got to find a balance to mix it up. You can still do original stuff while also doing things to please the fans. Why do you think so many girls in anime have such huge? And number three, one of the things I did wrong, and I'm ashamed to admit this, but focusing too much on money. But come on, hear me out before I get into it. All right, let me just preface by saying I was broke, living in my garage. McDonald's was a luxury meal, you know what I'm saying? Not like poverty though, like I don't want to get it twisted. Like I know there was a lot of people that are way less fortunate than me, but wasn't making that much money. Living situation wasn't the best. It could have been better, that's all I'm gonna say. So when inevitably, like when a young black kid gets some money, I mean, honestly, I'm grateful I didn't go crazier than I did. So that being said though, when you are a musician, and I spoke about this in previous videos, but when you make music for a living and also you used to be broke, like you're chilling, right? You're doing good. You're better off than most people. But there's just this constant fear in the back of my mind that this could all end at any moment. Like, for example, this year when I saw the streaming revenue start to drop month by month, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in panic mode, trying to figure out anything I can do to like maintain this lifestyle that I've built for myself. All that being said, I will say focusing on money definitely took some of the soul out of the music, and they probably contributed to all these other factors that I feel like I have done wrong in. Last year I made the most money in 1 year that I ever have, and a good chunk of it was because of all the NFT stuff. I released this NFT project and it was doing mind-blowingly well. It didn't make any sense. So I really put my all and just focused on that for like the first half of the year. I kind of let a lot of different aspects of my career kind of slip away. And that's just one example of me trying to make money over like my creativity and my passion for music and all that kind of stuff, because I kind of got hooked on the business side of things and I just stopped making as much music as I used to. I'm being transparent and letting you guys know all this because you're sitting here watching me thinking that, oh, I'm some cool guy with all these streams and all these subscribers on YouTube. But listen, like, this could be you. So like, maybe it could be a small percentage, but you could very well be in the same position as me where you get some success, you start getting comfortable, you make a lot of money, and then it starts to go down and you feel like your life is over. Like, that can happen. So I just want you to know that. Like, people say money doesn't buy happiness. It does. Money definitely buys happiness, but only if you get all of it. But if you get a lot of money, you'll be happy. But once the money starts coming in less, and that's what you attached your happiness to, you got nothing. So it's the same thing with the streaming. Like, I am very grateful that I got 35 million streams. But the fact that it's 10 million less than last year kind of throws a wrench into the happiness. So I'm just letting you guys know this just for your sake. Like, this kind of stuff can happen to you. Just be very mindful of it and just try your best to just plant your feet in gratitude and try to be as grateful as possible, because no matter what, you reach a milestone, there's always another milestone over the ledge. I'm sure there's more things I've probably done wrong, but I can't even think about it right now. Like, that was heavy, bro. Let's move on to shifting the blame a little bit, and let's talk about some external factors that played a part into my steady decline. Okay, it's not gonna be 100% your fault all the time, because as much as I like to try not to blame the algorithms or blame this or that, these kind of things do play a factor. So let me talk about some external factors that have been out of my control and are potentially out of yours. Number one, let's just start with the elephant in the room, the global panty schmanny, okay? So during the pandemic is when me and a lot of other musicians, a lot of other content creators, our careers really flourished because everybody was at home. What a time to be alive. Moment of silence for all the people we lost. But damn, when we was streaming and everybody was in the streams, we was turning up. Monty Booker was streaming, Chris Ponsalon was streaming, I was streaming, everybody was streaming, and everybody was having a good time. We were doing beat battles, we were a community. My streams were going up. Come on, everybody's depressed. Everybody's working from home. What are they gonna listen to when they're working from home? Lo-fi, baby. So I personally do believe that that plays a big factor just globally. I feel like people were listening to chill instrumentals a lot more. So maybe that 65 million back in 2021 was inflated, bro, because literally everybody's at home. And now that people are outside again, bro, they're listening to drill. They're listening to Ice Spice. So that's one factor. The second factor will always be the algorithms, okay? So get this, right? TikTok came around. Changed my life. Then I took a break and they forgot about me. So yeah, pretty much the TikTok changed the all social media platforms, because Instagram is becoming similar. Because no matter what, when it came to TikTok, at least Instagram kind of remained the same. And what I mean by that is, with TikTok, nobody really cares about the people on their For You page. They see the videos, they double tap, and they keep swiping. It's really hard to actually build a fan base on there. But at least with Instagram, for the most part, they were still showing your posts to your followers. So you would see a good group of people that are always liking, always commenting, and always showing love. With TikTok, on the other hand, I hardly ever recognize any familiar people in my comments. Maybe there's like 3 or 4 people that I might actually recognize that comment all the time. But a lot of times, if I have a video that does a little well on TikTok, I'm getting comments of hella people saying, "Where have you been? Haven't seen you in ages. Haven't seen you on my For You page in so long." So these algorithms play a big role. And once TikTok got oversaturated, it became like any other platform where it's like really hard to go viral. It wasn't like that instant, everybody's going viral, everybody eats. It's not like that anymore. And they also prioritize consistency over anything else. So if you take a break, if you stop posting as much, if you're only posting a few times a week when you used to post every day, I feel like the algorithm notices that stuff and they kind of put you on timeout, bro. And sure, it could be like maybe my content isn't as good. Also, I just haven't been making a lot of new music. So really, I'm just trying to find creative ways to promote old music, and maybe the algorithm doesn't like that. Maybe the fans don't like that. Again, this is me trying not to put all the blame on the algorithms, but I can't sit here and deny that the algorithms changing all the time doesn't play a role in how we release music and how our music is seen and visible to our fans. And lastly, one factor that could potentially be out of my control is maybe people just don't care anymore. Like, there is also a possibility that people they're tired of what I do. Even if I've been consistent making the same similar type of music or whatever, maybe people are just over lo-fi. Maybe people are just over my lo-fi. That's something that's just out of my control. If people just suddenly are not listening to a certain type of music anymore, do you listen to the same type of music all the time? I mean, yeah, sure, Drake has been #1 on my Spotify rap for the past couple years. Not too happy about that, but it is what it is. But yeah, people change, people grow up. There's tons of different factors out there. So I just want to round that all up by just saying, like, do not blame the algorithms. You don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, the algorithms got me down. The algorithm, for a small percentage of people, it could be true. But for the most part, like, it's your content. At the end of the day, these platforms, all they care about is what content is getting the most views. And like, you know, if yours aren't getting views, maybe it's just not the content that people want to see. It's unfortunate, but it could be the hard truth. Because if it was really the algorithm, what's stopping you from making a whole new account and posting all your videos there? Because then you don't have to worry about your shadow ban. You start a whole fresh new page. Whew, okay, are we good? Are we all still here? All I'm hoping that you get from this video, or what I was able to give you, was just like an inside look to literally 4 years of a career. Some good things, some bad things. Just know that there's a lot of ups and downs, and I'm hoping you can learn from any of this. Now, as far as future strategies for me, I went from 200K on Spotify in 2019 to 25 million to 65 million, down to 45, and now 35 million in 2023. Does that mean next year I will be down another 10 million? I hope not. But really, all I can do is remember earlier the things that I did good. So as of right now, starting now, I'm not waiting till next year. Don't wait till next year. You have now, so you start now. I'm gonna try my best to be more consistent still. I'm gonna try my best to keep engaged with my fans. And if you will so kindly sign up to my mailing list, because yes, these algorithms be trifling sometimes. Although it is up to me to try to make better content and try to innovate and try to adapt. But at the end of the day, like with all these platforms, you don't really own your fans. So it would mean a lot to me if you guys would click the link in my description if you care about my music. I know a lot of people are just here for the tips. But if you're genuinely a fan of my music, please sign up for my mailing list so that you can actually be notified right in your email when I drop new music. And that's something I suggest all of you to do, build a mailing list. I'm gonna focus on that a lot. One of my big goals is to go back to being a student, man. I was just watching Datsun stream. He's messing around with the OP1, doing all these things. Guess what? He's learning this stuff because he read the manual. But like, I wanna get back to being a student and just get that creative urge and that love for music back, and not just focus so much on the money and the success of it all. Because at the end of the day, this was my lowest year for streaming, my lowest year for revenue since 2020. But I got married this year, I got my passport, I went to Costa Rica, Mexico, New Orleans, New York. I fucking lived life this year. Yeah, did my streams lag? Did my consistency with the algorithm start lacking? Yes, but I genuinely did my best to just live this year, and it worked out. And I'm now ready to fucking grind like I was back in the garage. Now I'm in a better place to do that now that I've gone and had a really fulfilling life this year. So I appreciate you guys. Keep your head up. Love you. Till the next video. Peace.